Hey,
Let them know we're ready.
we can start.
7:07.
Is he ready?
You all right? There, you can rest that there if you need to.
Remember to talk into your microphones.
Can we go? We're ready, okay.
Oh, getting the stop
Yep.
sign.
Not yet.
Oh, no, there's 4 people going tonight. Okay. Yeah, so Mike is going to be chairing tonight. Thank you for asking.
Ready? The January 16th meeting of 2024, the White Bear Lake Conservation District come to order at 7:06. We have a quorum. Thank you, Susie. And we'll approve the agenda. I have a couple changes to the agenda. Under number 6, new business, if you go down to the bottom, White Bear Low Water Study Group, cross that out, delete that. If you go to down to the executive committee report, Brian's not here tonight, so you can delete that. If you go down to Lake Education, social media update, you can delete that. Meredith's not here. And if you go down to the treasurer's report, the middle one, approved December 31st, 2023, and add to that also December 22nd, 2023. We'll handle those both as one. Are there any other changes to the agenda? I'll make a motion we accept the agenda.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain. Motion passes. Approval of the previous board meeting minutes. Everybody had a chance to read those. Are there any corrections? Seeing nobody, I'll make a motion that we approve the board meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And abstain. Public comments. Anybody in the audience who wants to comment on something that's not on the agenda can speak now, a limit of 15 minutes. Not you? Okay, we'll pass on that. You could. All right. New business, nominations for the executive board members. We do that now. We nominate. It's open through February, the next meeting, when we'll close nominations so anybody can be nominated. And I would like to start by, I talked to Brian and I talked to Meredith, and Brian would be willing to continue as chairman, and Meredith would like to continue as vice chairman. So I would nominate Brian for chairman and Meredith for vice chairman. So that leaves treasurer open.
I'd like to nominate Mike Perano for secretary and treasurer.
I would accept that. Okay. So those are the nominations, and if there's more, you can make them during the month. Contact Sherry or at the next meeting. Okay, that's it for nominations. We have a board activity calendar draft, and Sherry put this together. This is all the things, the time of year we normally do them, January through December. It's for information, for your information, but it's also for your input. If there's things we missed or things that should be on there that aren't, speak up, email Sherry during the month, whatever. But it's kind of what we do, and if somebody, it's good for board members to see what other board members are doing, and covers a lot of territory. But if we miss something, certainly speak up. Also, the next thing is the
It's going to be approved, I think, next month.
yeah, FYI.
The calendar, yeah.
Yeah. And the next one is also FYI. It's the annual report draft, and it's all the things that we did do. And there's a lot of things. And read through it. And if we miss something, again, tell Sherry. Something that you might have worked on and we just missed it. Honest mistake. And then if the cities ask for this, they ask for a report. This is what we do.
Okay, it goes to the cities.
Yes,
That's what I was
yes,
gonna
the
ask.
cities have asked for
All
that.
municipalities.
So we have that to give them. Again, it's an FYI type thing. And if we miss something, please speak up. Okay, next thing is something we have to vote on, and that is the annual designations. And that is who we use as a bank, who we hire as an attorney, where our insurance is, who our administrator is, legal counsel, et cetera. You can see, you can check it out. So anybody, I would entertain a motion for somebody to accept this report.
I move we accept the report.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second.
Technically, Mr. Acting Chair, it'd be the designations, not the report.
Okay. So, any discussion?
Is there a legal requirement, right, to designate all these?
Yes.
Is there a
Items.
legal requirement? Is there a legal
And-
requirement? I
Is
think
this
there
the
is, yeah.
minimum, or is this, do we have to designate all these, or are we adding more to it? What are we legally required to designate, I guess, at a minimum?
Yeah, things like if we had to make a legal notice, we have the designated newspaper that we would use.
Right.
Yeah, this is, board and, chair and board, this is a standard first of the year housekeeping, basically. Just announces for the purposes of the public who provides all of these services.
Any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Abstain? Motion passes. Next thing is, again, an FYI, and that is the buoy locations. That's on the back of the annual designations. These are the buoy locations. FYI, these are the conservation buoy locations, and they could change depending on lake elevation. But this is where they're going to start out at. So, and it'll be in the office, it'll be on the website, and any updates, we'll let you know.
Yeah, we would also put this in the next issue of the Laker. We're going to have a big thing on buoys. So this map would be part of that. I guess I would suggest, because it doesn't reproduce in black and white.
Yeah, there is a color one that you.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they're going to do in the lake. They can print in color on Laker, but I would prefer to have like shapes rather than colors.
Yeah, there's the colored one right there.
Yeah, I would say this won't reproduce all that well in the Laker, but
The buoys themselves are the correct
yeah.
buoys.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the positions. It's just that
But if you want,
I would not use little tiny color dots like that.
I would like to suggest that either the blue or purple be turned to yellow because the blue and purples are so close in color.
Yeah, I guess what I would do is like for the shallow water, I use diamonds, which is the standard indicator of
Okay.
a
Up in the
shallow
color
water
code?
buoy.
up in the color code on the top,
Yeah,
can't quite see the color code. You mean up there?
yeah. I mean, you can see those because the dots are big enough, right?
It's not big enough to put the
Yeah.
diamonds on each buoy. But we could put it in the color code.
Do you want me to try to do shapes?
Yeah? If you want to, give it a whirl.
I'll try it for next
Okay.
next month.
Yeah, might as well, try to be correct.
Okay.
Okay,
Can I ask a question?
sure,
Above the marsh there,
yeah.
that one that's up there, is that the one for the rocks?
The rock, yeah.
Up
We
from
looked at the rocks, we were going to put a buoy there, and we still might, and you suggested it, and I know we approved a buoy for there. But it's hard to tell with this black and white. But there's a red and a green buoys that we would buy that would be official buoys.
Yes.
That then would designate people away from the rocks.
Yeah.
And so rather than duplicate it, we were thinking we'd do the entrance and exit buoys, the red and the green,
Okay.
in the proper shape.
Okay.
And so that's what the plan is.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. Unfinished business. We have yet to have the completed VFW EAW report. There's just one or two things left. So we're still waiting on that, and Sherry has notified them and is bugging them, so we'll get that done. Next is the 2024 Lake Use Study RFP. Mark?
Okay, so as a reminder, in November, we approved a request for proposals for the Lake Use Study. Those went out, and by January 2, we got 2 responses. Those were, I think, received in your inbox this week from Sherry. Read them. We'll vote on them next time. The subcommittee of myself and Meredith looked through the proposals carefully. There are 2, one from Blue Water Science and another one from Emmons and Olivier Resources. So we're all familiar with Blue Water Science. Emmons and Olivier Resources, also an environmental engineering firm. In their proposal, they describe their qualifications. In our opinion, they are also a very qualified group that could do the work. Just for comparison of pricing, Blue Water Science has quoted $35,800 plus $350 per meeting they attend at the council here, and then Emmons and Olivier at $29,600. In our review of it, we saw, I think, 3 important factors to consider as you prepare for the vote next month. One is kind of consistency of the data collection. Blue Water Science has an advantage there, and since we're going so far back to the last Lake Use Study, 2006, and we want to make comparisons to that, could be important to have the same individuals using the same methodology. The data becomes comparable. The costs are a little bit different, so that's a consideration. And then, one is a new firm that we haven't worked with at least in the last 25 years, and there could be new insights coming from that. In all, our opinion from Meredith and myself was we preferred the Blue Water Science proposal, mostly for its consistency in comparing to past reports and availability of data collection methods.
How much money do we budget for this?
$30,000.
Okay, so
They're both in the ballpark. One is under the budget and one is 20% over.
What was the name of the other company?
Emmons and Olivier Resources, EOR.
Okay. I think it's interesting in your summary that you said that Blue Water Science basically understood what you were asking and answered all the questions, and that EOR kind of went off on their own a little bit and answered some of the questions and then offered other different things that we didn't have a database on.
That's true, and I didn't mention that. And that kind of comes to our confidence in, Blue Water Sciences providing a report that's very comparable to past reports, because they did follow the proposal very closely, and other bid didn't follow it as closely.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. We will vote on this next month, but you have the 2 proposals. They were in your package or in your email. Please read through them and see what you think, and then everybody will get your summary.
We can send that summary out. Yep.
Okay. I think that's important too, of what the committee that did all the work
All right.
thinks about it. And then next month, we will vote on it, we'll decide, and we'll be off and running. Okay, anything else, Mark?
Nope.
Thank you. Let's see, no executive committee, no lake quality committee, other than the lake's not frozen yet. Lake utilization committee, Chris.
Okay, we'll work our way down. Utilization committee met. The first one on the list was the Horseshoe on Ice fundraiser event at the VFW. That's going to be hosted on February 17th, 2024. The LUC approved, and we are assuming it's a fundraiser. They didn't have it checked as a fundraiser, but it has in the past. We said we'd waive the fee on that, the $60 fee. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the Horseshoe on Ice fundraising event February 17th, 2024 for the VFW.
Second?
First and a second, any discussion? Did you want to add the no fee in your motion, or?
Oh, and I'll add to my motion assuming it's a fundraiser to waive the fee. Sherry was going to check up on that.
And second?
Okay. Discussion? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain?
The next one is for the VFW. So last month, the VFW had come in with the permit for the extension of their dock and the expansion of boat slips. This is a permit it's basically the same permit as last year. So this is just to get the permit for next year and get them approved. So nothing's changed with it. It does take into account the Rudd property line. So we got the measurements and all that straightened out. The dock's in the same space. We're just saying the Rudd line's where it's at. The LUC reviewed it and we approved it. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the VFW commercial permit review or permit for 2024.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have first and second. Any discussion? There was a lot of maps and stuff in with that, and there was one that was like, it was the old dock, but it went out 300 feet. That's just...
Yeah, the main one, that first diagram's probably the best one
Okay.
that has the right measurements on it. Mm-hmm. I included everything that was there from their other survey, which one showed the length of the ramp, right? Yeah. But the first one, we put all the measurements in there, so that full length should be there. It was like 247 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Abstain.
All right, the next one is the yacht club. We're going to shelve that one for now, but we were talking through some of the counts to get those numbers right for them, and we'll get back with them, clean it up, and bring it in for the next month. The same one for the Farrell dock. This is a non-commercial dock where they had an extra boat. Everything looks fine there from the LUC's perspective. We're just going to go help them clean up their diagrams, and we'll bring that in next month to review. But from an overall LUC perspective, it looks pretty good. Next one is Scott Bowen's non-commercial permit for his dock, and it's the same as last year, same number of slips, same configuration, no complaints. So the LUC approved that. So I'd like to make a motion to approve Scott Bowen's non-commercial permit application.
I'll second.
Have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain.
Okay, the next
Motion-
one. Go ahead.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Next one, Beverly Driscoll. Dock is the same as last year. This is where all the giant A-boats are. Really cool dock. No complaints. Everything's the same. So LUC approved that, and I'd like to make a motion to approve the Beverly Driscoll non-commercial permit application for 2024.
I'll second it.
First and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain.
The next one, Hickory Dock over in Matamidi. Same as last year, no changes, same dock layout, same number of boats. The LUC approved it, so I make a motion to approve the Hickory Dock Association permit for 2024.
Second?
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Okay, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain?
The next one, Alicia Heights, another one in Mahtomedi. Same dock length, same number of boats. LUC approved, and I'd like to make a motion for Alicia Heights, approval for Alicia Heights dock for 2024.
Second?
First and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain?
Cottage Park. So Cottage Park has revisions. The only thing that's changing is their length of their dock. So this is the one that it gets pretty shallow. They're going to be going out past 200 feet, but they don't know exactly where the 4-foot mark is. So they're going to go up to 4 feet, or it's basically over 200 feet, up to 300. But if it's at 4 feet, they'll figure out the length there. So they estimated it in their diagram. But same number of boats, it's just the length that's in question based on the water depth and where they're going to go. So the LUC reviewed that and approved that. So I'd like to make a motion to approve Alicia Heights dock for non-commercial 2024.
Second?
Yeah, first and a second. Excuse me, any discussion?
That won't interfere any with all the other docks along there, will it?
No,
I mean, as far as boats getting into...
all the boats are, for the most part, coming in straight in, and there's a few that will go out and around. And I want to say there's 15 to 20 feet on each side.
Okay.
But there's not a lot of docks that are right up next to it. So if you come out of Commercial Bay, it's past that point that's kind of grassy and shallow there, but nothing abuts next to it where I don't see too many problems.
I'm just going to get the map up here really quick.
But they kept the same number of boats, which was good. They were kind of going back and forth on that the past couple of years, and they've kept it at 14 every year, which is good. Like they came in last year at 16. We said keep it at 14. So this year they came in basically the same number of boats and docks, or number of boats. It's just that length that they're trying to figure out.
And there were no complaints.
You're right.
So close.
Oh, yeah. You're right over here.
Yeah, right at the end.
See it right there.
Yeah.
That's an old one.
Yeah,
picture.
that's the only one they have.
But this, if you look at their diagram, we'll go straight out, and then there's a T, but there's no
Nothing there.
docks here, and this one's the closest. It's pretty far out.
Yeah, they'll get their 4 feet, or it gets kind of mucky.
Yeah.
So they'll get to a certain
You
point.
can kind of see the
They'll run out.
muck in the,
Go any farther.
yeah, I mean, you can see the muck in the satellite image.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain?
And the last one is the commercial permit for your boat club to do commercial sales for 2024. We reviewed that and approved that. So I'd like to make an motion to approve your boat club commercial sales permit for 2024.
Second?
We have a second. Any discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain. Thank you, Chris.
I think we're finally getting permits that come in and they're the same as last year. I think it's going to make things easier. So good work by everybody.
Lake Education Committee, Scott.
Yes, we have put out, they have published the winter edition of the Laker, which I think most, if not all of you, get a copy of that. Covered a bunch of things, including the chlorine chart, which is one of our bigger areas of concern, and some general warnings about thin ice. It's been kind of interesting because there was a time in January or in December where it iced over a little bit, and there were
Ice boats.
whatever you call it, ice boats out on the lake, and then it all melted. And it really didn't seem to be firming up again until like January 4th. I would think that with this really cold weather, but there are no overnight ice houses on there yet that I see. There are some people out there in tents today. So now our coming up, we have the lake cleanup on March 9th. There have been a couple of years where the lake's already open by March, by that date. And in that case, they do a land cleanup in the parks around the lake, which is still valuable. I don't know, I won't be here. I'll be in Arizona during the cleanup. But the Boy Scouts they're pretty gung-ho about it, so they're starting to organize it and allocating different parts of the lake. And then the next thing we have is the spring edition of the Laker. And for that, we want to put something together on buoys, which would include our buoy map and descriptions of the different kind of buoys and what our ordinances say about buoys, if you want to put out a mooring buoy. So it'd be sort of a comprehensive buoy coverage is what we're talking about doing. So we'll need some help from Mike, who's our buoy expert, in putting that together.
Okay.
I'm not sure when exactly that's due.
One's red, one's green.
I don't
So we have to get a contract first from them and see what they want to offer us. We haven't received a contract yet for next year.
Okay.
So do you want to reach out, or do you want me to reach out to
Yeah.
ask them about that? Okay.
Yeah, why don't you ask them? And we'll move on from there. It was a very reasonable price last year for something that went out, was mailed to all the Lakeshore homeowners, plus their additional community distribution.
In addition to?
Yeah, so that's it. Meredith's not here. I see she is putting stuff out on Facebook and other sources. So that's it.
Any questions for Scott? Thanks, Scott. All right, next is the treasurer's report. So we had a check that we had to rewrite in November, so we approved the November's report, but we have to approve the revised November report. So I would like to make a motion that for the November treasurer's report, we accept payment of debit card 18 and checks number 909 through 916. 917 is void, 4917 is void, and then checks 4918 and 4919. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? We just had to replace a check is what we had to do. Had the wrong amount. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain. And now the treasurer report for the normal time, December 22nd, which would be the third week and when we would normally do it. And we're going to combine that with the year-end December 31st report. And you're going to have to follow me on this one. We have debit card on the 22nd. We have debit card 19, debit card 6A, then we go to the 12/31 one. We have debit card 20, card 21. And then we have a charge for checks. They call it EFT. So those are all costs. Now we'll go to check numbers. This is really going to be fun. Check number 4920 through 4922. Now, we had some checks that were never cashed, and we're cleaning up the books. So we're going way back to check number 4896. We want to approve that as basically a refund because it wasn't cashed. Check number 4267, and we ran out of checks. So the bank graciously printed more checks. So we have 64A, 64B, 64C. Now we have a return check that was never cashed from quite a while ago. It's check number 3164. Now we're back to the new checks, 64D. Now we're back to an old check, 4612, and two new checks, 64E and 64F. Now, I'd be glad to go over that or talk more about it unless you followed what we're doing. Everybody's getting paid. We had some checks that were never cashed from a long time ago, so we credited them in and then wrote them out again.
Who's Wirebill Company?
That's our web service.
Their website.
website.
They didn't want the money, huh?
What's their problem?
I don't know, but they also, one didn't get cash from this September, and then a couple from, I don't know.
So how old are these?
They're in the comment section.
2014
Okay.
was one of them.
So that's my motion.
I'll second.
Discuss it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Some of those are really old checks that were never cashed.
I know at some point in the distant past, they moved from Minnesota to Nebraska. Maybe they lost track of stuff and they moved. So in a moving box someplace.
So we got a hold of everybody except one person from 2019? 2001? 2001, that's right. And we couldn't find them. So that goes to the state of Minnesota, unclaimed property and blah, blah, blah. Any other questions? Everybody looks puzzled, no?
They don't cash the reissued checks. Can we just say 2 strikes and you're out?
Yep. Well, we'll have to go to unclaimed property. That's that's how this all came about. The auditor sees that.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
That's where
Well, you gotta go.
One times.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it just goes to the
We
state
gotta,
that
yeah, we gotta account for everything, so we have to do it.
And then sadly, it never comes back. Once it's unclaimed property.
Any other discussion? Okay. We'll vote, all in favor
Aye.
for the treasurer's December report? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstain. Onward to January. January, you must have had some checks left over. Oh, no, that's a return check. Okay, January 16th report. I'd like to make a motion that we accept payments 4923, 4924, 64E, which was a return check, and 4925. Is there a second? Second. We have a second. Is there discussion? Okay, the 64E is we sent them a replacement check, and they said, well, we don't have your account anymore, so they sent it back and said, keep it. Thank you, Superior Point. That's what the 64E is that one that we approved for December came back to us in January. Okay, first, second, any other discussion or questions? We shall vote on it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstain. That's it for the treasurer's report. Alan?
Acting chair and board, pretty slow month, needless to say, with the ice conditions. So as has been noticed already to you guys, no one's out there permanently. In fact, I think it would be a big risk to go out there even not permanently at this point. So no one's getting cited for errant behavior in their fish houses or otherwise. With any luck at all, next month we'll have a presentation from at least Ramsey County in terms of their activity. So look forward to that. And at some point, maybe not next month, but maybe the month after, we'll get someone in here to talk a little bit about insurance and whatnot from either the league or from our carrier. And I would stand for questions.
No questions?
Thank you.
Sherry, what you got?
Non-conflict of interest forms, I received them most, so if you have not completed, I gave everybody one. If you could just give that to me before you leave tonight. So hopefully that was in your packet of stuff I gave you. And then I just wanted to give you a heads up. Remember, Manitou Clothing came to ask us about if we could donate. And I hadn't heard anything, and I was going to call him just to say, hey, you know, how you doing? And he emailed me. He's going to send a donation this month. He was in a bad car accident, I guess, and broke his back, and so he's on the mend. But so that's still active, just to let you know, because we hadn't heard anything at all.
Okay.
And that's it.
And if that
Okay,
comes in, we'll have
those,
to do up a resolution to accept it. Once
What's
it,
that?
if and when that comes in, we'll have a resolution before you guys to accept it
Yeah.
on the regular business agenda.
Do we have to accept this League of Minnesota dividend?
No, that's a kickback, basically.
All
So
right.
It was a very
one
clean
every
year.
Why? Then we can ask him. Well, why?
Big time.
Very little litigation, so that's why. So,
Does that just go back into the general fund then?
yep.
Okay. That
It's
was
paid
very
out of, it goes
confusing.
where it was paid out of, so.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, be sure to stay after school here and give those non-conflict forms to Sherry. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So move.
Second.
I second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Probably not. Ever say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Susie, for coming.
I'm sorry I was late. I had another meeting that ran over, and I had to go home and eat dinner. I'm starving.
Almost not worth